Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to another turkey pattern test video here. And right off the bat, I apologize. I'm still a little bit stuffed up from this cold, but hey, we're getting through it and we're still out here filming for y'all. But in this video, we're going to be bringing back out a shell that we haven't tested in a little bit on the channel, since we got a different choke to put it through and see what it can do this time. That load being some of the Remington Premier TSS 410 loads. These are a 3-inch 1100 feet per second 13/16 ounce of number 9s. And for the setup we're going to be running them through today is the Mossberg 500 410 turkey again, but we've got that Carlson's heavyweight TSS 385 constriction choke in the gun this time. And if you haven't seen the first video of us testing these Remington loads through the stock extra full 380 choke that gun came with, I'll leave a card above here. That way you guys can go get a baseline if you haven't seen that video of where we started with these loads. So when we shot them the first time, they weren't anything super impressive. They would get the job done, but I would say they were kind of average at best. Nothing really amazing to say about them one way or the other. But I have hopes that this Carlson's 385 that I've got out here today can help these out a little bit. Now, with them being a big box store, off-the-shelf load like that, plus a Remington shell, I don't necessarily have the highest of hopes for them being a really impressive contender of sorts, I guess you could say. But I do think we will see a little bit of improvement over what the stock choke was able to do with the gun. So as per usual, the target is set up right over here at 40 yards away from the bench. So let's head back there and see what these Remington Premier TSS loads can do through this Carlson's choke this time. Alright, we're all set up back at the bench at 40 yards from the target, so let's run these Remington Premier TSS 410 13/16 ounce load of 9s through this Mossberg 500 410 turkey with the Carlson's heavyweight TSS 385 choke and see what they can do down there on the target. Hopefully it's a little bit better performance than what we did with the stock choke, but let's shoot them and see. Alright, so this is what we got out of those Remington Premier TSS 410 loads. Now, yes, that is a dead turkey at 40 yards. But as you can see, the outskirts of this pattern are definitely on the open side here. And there's really not a whole lot of what I would call flyers. It's an open pattern, for sure. And we definitely see some of these larger void areas around his head area here, which I don't like in my patterns. This is about what we have seen out of these Remington shells so far. They will work, they will take you a turkey, but they are definitely not the ideal setup in a lot of cases, it seems. I don't know, this is just, it's not a great pattern. It's not terrible, I wouldn't say. It's not blown wide open necessarily, but it seems like it needs more constriction, but we've tried it through more constriction before with the stock choke, and it did the same thing. So I think these Remington shells are kind of at their max as far as performance goes. I think this is about what we can expect to see out of these shells. They will absolutely take you a turkey out to 40, but there's just nothing really spectacular or amazing to say about them in one way or the other. And alright, you guys seem to like me showing what these wads look like out of some of these shells. This is the wad out of that Remington shell that we just shot. And once again, we see these extra pellets. Hopefully, if my camera will ever focus. There we go, maybe. We see these extra pellets still crammed down in the bottom of this wad here. There you go, maybe you can see it better now. There's a little bit of buffer material and some pellets crammed down in there. I don't really understand exactly why some of these shells are doing this. This is the first time I've ever really paid attention and noticed it. But you're not getting quite all your payload downrange on your target, it seems. And it doesn't look like they're melted down in there or anything like that. It's just, it seems more like they're smashed into the bottom of your wad here. Maybe from the force, the acceleration force of firing, I don't know, but just something to take note of again. There's no tears or anything like that in the wad, but one side is definitely peeled open farther than the other. But just Interesting to take note again that there's more pellets down crammed in the bottom of one of these wads. All right, well, what did y'all think about it? It's definitely about what I expected, to be honest with you. It's not terrible. It's nothing really amazing. It's just, it will work, but there's definitely better options out there for the same price or cheaper from what I've seen so far. Maybe you guys have tried this through a different setup and gotten a little bit better results. If you have, leave me a comment below and let me know, and maybe we can try them through some other stuff. But as for right now, this looks about like what we can expect to see out of these Remington shells. And I don't like seeing those extra pellets crammed down in the bottom of those wads on the Browning and now the Remington shells as well. Even though it's only a couple pellets down in there, 4 or 5 pellets, whatever the case is, you're not getting your full payload downrange, and that could affect how your entire shot column flies out of the end of your barrel as well, if you're not having all of your shot exit your wad as it peels open nice and evenly. But as for this pattern, it's about average, I would say. It will work, but it's definitely not the best. So leave your comments down below. What do you think? What is your opinion? What has been your experience with these shells? And what do you guys think about the new paper I've got? I think it might allow us to see things just a little bit more evenly, a little bit clearer. So is that something you guys like, or should we try and switch back over to the brown paper? I don't really have a ton of that brown paper left, but I don't know. Let me know which one you guys prefer, if you guys like this new paper or not. But with that being said, I've got another test or two that I would like to run out here today before the wind picks up too much more this afternoon, since we've got some weather starting to roll in again. So I'm going to get back to it. Stay tuned for those tests, because they'll be coming out over the next few days. And on that note, I'll see y'all in the next one.